going to be talking about small sample sizes.
Hey, what about me? Welcome back, me too.
Oh, sorry. I forgot to introduce Glenn. So Glenn's our cameraman here, so he's got his little hand back there.
Right.
All right, so let's continue here, okay? So let's talk about small samples, okay? What if you have something that's small, like this little piece of metal here, and it's homogeneous, obviously, so you can just stick it into your sample holder and analyze it directly. However, you would need to have a smaller sample mask here so that you can stick it in. This is a 10 millimeter mask here for our 4 metals. We also have this special Y shape here that you can basically, stick it in there, and because of these holes here, you can move the samples around with your finger. All right. Now for the Super Mini, obviously the traditional sample cup size is a 30 millimeter, but we also have other options where we have a 10 and 20 millimeter diameters that you can use as well. But what if it's a loose powder, and how do you prepare that? Because obviously it's going to be very loose around the cup, so there's a special way to prepare that, so we're going to show you how to do that today. Okay, so let's talk about how we're going to do loose powders in a cup, which will be your traditional way. So let me just show you real quick how to make the cup with the film here. Okay, so here we have our cup with film, and then we're just going to put the powder in. Okay, and you just tap it to fill the entire surface, but if you don't have enough material, there's another way that we can show you how to prepare the sample. Here we have our sample boards. That's a 10 millimeter and a 20 millimeter sample boards that we would just fill the powders in. And this helps it to center the sample so that you can prepare and then put it into the cup with the film. And I'm going to show you one that's already been prepared, like that. All right, that's centered, and then you would either put it into your Super Mini cup or your floor model, and then analyze it directly like that.
But Ton, what if they have elements that are too light to go through the film, or there's not enough, and that film's going to attenuate the signal for some key elements that they're going to be analyzing?
Well, that's a great question. That's going to lead us up into our next part, where we're going to show you our sample boric acid shells.
Okay, great.
Okay, so here's our solution about running samples without a film. What you see in front of you are these boric acid shells that are 5 millimeter, 13 millimeter, and 23 millimeters. We get these through V-Prep. They make these samples for us, and they come in a pack of 10 each. Okay, and they also contains the aluminum rings as well. I'm going to show you how to fill these up real quick. Okay, so we're going to use this. This one is more typically used for the Super Mini and the 4 models, because you can use about 50 to 100 milligrams here. So you would just tear your boric acid shell and then fill your sample directly into these wells. And then you would use a pancake press to just press them down.
And they could weigh that too, right? So that, like I know in
Yes.
semi-quant programs, having the weight
Right.
improves the data.
Now here's one that's already been prepared, pressed down to 15 tons. As you can see, it does not fall out. It stays centered in, and the good thing is you don't need a binder, because the boric acid shell will then hold all the sample in there.
And so they can even run elements like carbon in there too, right?
Exactly.
Because they don't
there's
have the
no
film.
Right, exactly. But
Well, how do you prep? So I saw you prep that one, and your hand was a little bit shaky on that. So how do you prepare that if you have this 5 millimeter guy here? That you're gonna spill all over the
Right,
place.
so you can see, like, I'm using the smallest tip here for the spatula, but that's obviously going to be a little bit too big. So there's a trick on doing this. Okay, if we can zoom out, you can see, obviously you can tell this is an electronic toothbrush. Then we're going to use the vibrating action of this to just fill that here. So what I have here is I have a pipette tip that's already pre-filled with the powder. And I'm going to show you real quick how to just use this vibrating action of the toothbrush to just aliquot the sample in.
That is really cool.
All right, and then you would just again use a pancake press and press it down. And I have a sample here that's already been prepped down. As you can see, that's beautiful. And again, you can just put it into your mass and just center it in. And we have like a smaller mass as well that we can use. Here we go. This is at 5 millimeter. You can just center that and then analyze it directly like that. So if you have a very small amount of sample, this will be ideal for you. But if you have plenty of time on your hands, you can make something like this.
Nice.
Right. Okay, we hope that you enjoyed this episode on the small sample prep. Hope to see you next time. And if you have any questions, please let us know or give us suggestions on what your next idea is on how to prepare something, and we'll definitely make an episode out of that. See you soon.